Ghosts and spirits. Because of earlier long attachment, the soul continues to hover around the dead body till it is cremated. After it is reduced to ashes, it reluctantly seeks a diversion. On burial, however, it remains infatuated with the mortal remains and hovers around them for many days. Souls of less enlightened persons and of those having deeper involvements in worldly matters haunt the graveyards and crematoriums for many days. Longing for the earlier body draws them again and again towards the place of cremation, and unable to control their emotions, they wail around the grave. Then there are also individuals having deep affections with close friends and relatives. Souls of such persons prefer to stay near the favorite persons rather than around the place of cremation. Old-aged person while living naturally develops greater detachment from worldly affairs. Consequently, the soul of such a person is more relaxed and falls asleep soon after death. On the other hand, youths having strong desires and attachments, especially those dying of shock or suicide, suffer for longer duration before having a rest. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Namaskar, my dear friends. I am making a very important video on a very special topic, the life beyond physical death. This is a small book authored by great Hindu sage Pandit Sri Ram Acharya, the founder of Gayatri Parivar. Pandit Sri Ram Sharma is a world-famed Hindu sage who has followers all over the world, around 10 to 11 crores. So this is a very important topic. Life is eternal, considering death the cessation of functions of physical body, as the end of life is a great delusion. The soul, Atma, which is the beholder of bioenergy in the physical body, is ageless, timeless, and indestructible. The fear of death ensues from the microconception misconception that with the end of physical existence, the individual loses its identity in totality. A firm conviction in the continuity of life in future absolves man from the fear of death. Man is afraid of many things, but the fear of death is supreme, the very thought of which makes him shiver. The reason for this unusual reaction is the ignorance about the environment of life beyond the physical death. In this book, an attempt has been made to remove these misconceptions and enlighten man about the facts he is curious to know about the unknown future. The task of educating one about the author Other world is, however, not easy since the subject pertains to a paranormal phenomena and is therefore much beyond the reach of physical sciences. Sir Oliver Lodge, a well-known authority on the subject, too, admits that it is not always possible to explain the laws of metaphysics in physical terms. For readers who consider the physical bodily senses as the exclusive means for finding the ultimate truth, the matter dealt with in this book may appear to be a utopian conceptual exercise. Others who believe in the words of achieved saints and having paranormal vision would find in it authentic material which the writer has acquired and summarized after close interaction with many great souls. What is death? Life is an eternal stream. Each of us has been living since time immemorial and would continue to do so for millions of years in future. Ignorance of facts makes us believe that life begins in the womb of mother during pregnancy and ends with cessation of functions of heart and brain. It is a myopic point of view, a misleading concept. Modern medical science would make us believe that soul has no independent existence of its own, that the body itself is the totality of a living entity and the being is lost forever on death of the body. But alas, physical sciences themselves are even today in infancy. Take for instance the subject of velocity of electricity. So far, over 3 dozen theories have been advanced in this context, each contradicting the earlier ones. No doubt man has learned to make use of electrical current, but he is still uncertain about its mode of propagation. To the material world, the ever-changing theories of physical sciences may not matter much, but it would be unfortunate for mankind to apply the same norms to reach in spirituality, whereas scientists consider body itself as the total existence of a living being. A research scholar of spirituality puts forward evidence evidences of paranormal activities of the departed, defying explanation by material sciences. Then there are authenticated versions of small innocent children who have identified places and people of their past lives, proving beyond a doubt that a being goes through a cycle of birth and death again and again. Sucking milk from mother's breast immediately after birth itself indicates the presence in the infant of a memory from previous life. Extraordinary talents of many young children too are indicative of knowledge acquired in an earlier existence. Soul, not mind, which is recognized as the soul in the West, and body are not one and the same entity. Just as one is required to change clothes according to the requirements of occasion, the soul to change bodies, as it is not possible to wear the same clothes throughout one's life. The soul, with its infinite continuity in time, cannot dwell in the same body. That is why it seeks to find a new body again and again, though generally one discards the old worn and torn clothes only at times it becomes necessary to do so prematurely when they are accidentally damaged, torn, or have become unusable on account of some other reasons. Likewise, though the soul continues to live in the body till the later becomes infirm due to old age or diseases, it may also leave it at a younger age in a contingency. The moments of death. How does one die? In this context, Indian yogis, saints having paranormal perception, hold the view that for a short duration preceding death, man experiences a great deal of restlessness, pain, and writhing. There are a few reasons for this phenomena. The event of death necessitates total withdrawal of the current of bioenergy prana from all over the body, which before death is accumulated at that particular part of the body from where the soul is about to make its exit, discussed later. Whereas, because of prevailing dispositions of biological functions, this current tends to flow back to respective neurons. The impact of this struggle creates the agony or the spasm at the moment of death. The other reasons for the misery preceding the moment of death are diseases, shock, or other physiological factors rendering the body unqualified for retention of soul. Whether or not the dying person is able to express, the being does suffer for a few moments before death. However, soon thereafter, the person falls into a kind of coma and the soul departs in this state of senselessness. When death becomes imminent, all external functional powers of man becomes introverted and then cumulatively escape along with the soul through any exit in the physical body, sthul sharir. The yogis of the West are of the view that the soul, sukshma, and karan sharir of the being comes out of the body as a violet shadow, whereas the Indian spiritualists see it as a brilliant white aura akin to luminescence of a burning lamp escaping at the moment of death. Because of cumulative withdrawal, all forgotten memories of life lying buried and dormant in the finer cells of brain are stimulated and revived. This phenomena proves the extraordinary capability of human mind when the dying person relives all experiences of life in a short moment like a playback of a cine, cine film, whereas While living, it is impossible to remember even 50% of life's events in a long time. Each activity of a person, whether mental, verbal, or physical, leaves an imprint on the soul. The sum and substance of these events, deeds, accompanies the soul as its sanskars, impressions at the time of its departure from the physical body. In this process, it is said, one feels unimaginable pain like that inflicted by 1,000 scorpions' bites. While looking at the activities of bygone human existence, the soul feels extremely miserable like a devoted father who beheads his own son by mistake and looks at his body writhing in pain. It is because of soul feels extremely repentant for not having utilized life's precious moments fruitfully. As mentioned earlier, the body becomes insensitive to all feelings of pain and disease much before death when the energy of sense perception becomes introverted. Thus all sufferings of body and before death. The bond between the body and soul with the diseases, shock or old age begin to loosen. The fruit drops to the ground when it is ripened and its stem is unable to bear its weight. In the same manner, an individual dies when the body and its functional capabilities loosen their grip on the soul. The soul generally departs from the apertures in the upper part of the body, principally from the mouth, eyes, ears, or nostrils. Sinners have been found losing their souls through the anus or organs of sex. The soul of yogi lives through the Brahmarandra near top of cranium. The habitat of departed soul. On coming out of the body, the soul finds itself in a strange environment just as after a prolonged period of hard work on one seeks a comfortable bed in order to relax after the lifelong lifelong engagement with the body. The soul needs rest and sleep, a period of inactivity. This period of sleep provides the soul a great deal of rest. Hence, the prayer for the departed soul to rest in peace. However, the soul does not fall asleep immediately after death, but takes some time in doing so. Generally, the duration lasts about a month. It is because the habits and memories of earlier bodily attachments, vasana, are fresh and strong at the time of death and only gradually loosen their hold. As an analogy, consider the state of body after hard labor. The circulation of blood is fast and one cannot fall asleep even on a comfortable bed till it becomes normal. After its separation from the physical body, soul Sharir, on death, the soul assumes an astral body, Suksham Sharir. The form of this body is somewhat similar to that of the physical body. The being is pleasantly surprised to find a sudden acquisition of levity. Now it can move freely in space like a bird and reach anywhere simply by willing to do so. After abandoning the physical body, the soul hovers around the mortal remains, finding the near and dear ones mourning. It makes an attempt to communicate with them or re-enter the dead body, but does not succeed. The following narration of a departed soul illustrates the point. After death, I found myself in a strange situation on account of my previous attachments with my physical body and dear ones. I wanted to interact with them but found myself helpless. I could see and hear everyone and talked loudly, but found that I had become invisible and inaudible to living beings. Though it disturbed me to some extent, I felt very happy in my newly acquired body, in which I felt very light and could fly around with great speed. I recollected that while living, I was afraid of death, for which now there did not appear any reason whatever. Whatsoever, having acquired the new body, I became less interested in the older one, since this astral Sukshma body was in every way much superior to the previous one. I felt that I was existing as before and could see and move my limbs as earlier. It convinced me that there was nothing to fear about death, and dying was only an ordinary natural process and involving change of body. Ghosts and spirits. Because of earlier long attachment, the soul continues to hover around the dead body till it is cremated. After it is reduced to ashes, it reluctantly seeks a diversion. On burial, however, it remains infatuated with the mortal remains and hovers around them for many days. Souls of less enlightened persons and of those having deeper involvements in worldly matters haunt the graveyards and crematoriums for many days. Longing for the earlier body draws them again and again towards the place of cremation, and unable to control their emotions, they wail around the grave. Then there are also individuals having deep affections with close friends and relatives. Souls of such persons prefer to stay near the favorite persons rather than around the place of cremation. Old aged person while living naturally develops greater detachment from worldly affairs. Consequently, the soul of such a person is more relaxed and falls asleep soon after death. On the other hand, youths having strong desires and attachments, especially those dying of shock or suicide, suffer for longer duration before having a rest. Thank you for watching this video. Next video number 2 about the same topic, life beyond death. The next video will start the apparitions. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar my dear friends.